Welcome back to NASCAR racing. Just kidding. Glad y'all are here today. We're planting the rest of this sweet corn down here, what we call the creek garden. It's going to be about a month behind the other, which is what I wanted, so I don't have so much corn to put up at one time. Now, sometimes when I do that, it catches up with each other, so we'll see how that's going to go. Right now, you see Andy off in the background. He's spraying it for the deer. He's spraying with that all-natural deer repellent. We do have bone sauce surrounding the garden, Billy's bone sauce. And we have it in some of the deer trails. It probably needs to be replaced because our deer pressure is so heavy. We've seen a few deer tracks, but not too terribly many down here, so that's wonderful. We've got us some pink-eyed purple hull peas planted right through there. This right here is a wet spot down in this bottom. Andy's worked on it and tried to get the water to kind of move in a different direction, and it has helped because this whole area here used to hold water like, I'm talking about it would be a pond here every time it would rain. You can still tell the way the dirt looks, how cloddy and muddy and wet it still is. So it's really a poor draining area right here. The corn is doing okay there. I've lost a bunch of green beans through the years in this spot. We usually plant green beans down here. I do believe that we lost some peas though, because this whole darker area where it don't drain good, you can see there's a few here and there coming up. Let's see, here's a whole spot through there, missed a big spot. And then they start coming on up better out through there. Last year was another first with the pink-eyed purple hull peas for us. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, they are some of the best. They're way better than black-eyed peas. In my opinion, we absolutely loved them. Now I'm gonna tell you, they're a pain in the hind end to shell, but they are so good. So I know I've got some subscribers in the same zone as we are. One thing to keep in mind, if you want to plant late sweets corn, around here our rule of thumb is as long as you get it planted by July 4th, you should hopefully have a crop by the time the first frost comes. So July 4th is usually our cutoff date if we plant late corn. So keep that in mind. If you've got corn that's making and it makes by July 4th and you can go through right behind it, plant you a little more to have some through the fall. So we're up at our potato patch, and this right here is our big surprise we told you about last fall. We got some sorghum seeds from Justin at Metcalf Mills. Met him at the Farm Where We Live festival, and Andy about talked his head off.
Yep, so he sent us these seeds here. This is from some he grew last year, I believe. And I have no idea if this is going to work. I don't even know if this plate I've got in the planter is going to work here. This is for okra.
Oh, okay.
We see okra is a small seed, but it's not as small as this. So maybe we can just try to plant it with this and see what happens, because I really don't want to. I didn't want to use that push planter on all this. I don't have a seed plate at all that's small enough for that seed, for those seeds. So I don't know. I mean, look at how many it's carrying up there. That's like,
what, 4?
That's probably 4 or 5 seeds in that one run, and it's like that on every one of them. Well, if we have to, we'll just do some major thinning.
Yeah.
We'll see if it comes up. I mean, we'll see if it comes up first, and we'll kind of go from there.
Well, they say one for the birds, one for the bugs, and one for me.
Yeah, that's about right. There's gonna be plenty of them, that's for sure. So, and I do know that he told me that not to plant this deep. So I'm gonna try to keep the lift adjusted right on this tractor to where it's not putting it very deep in the ground at all. We're expecting rain tomorrow, so hopefully we're getting this planted at the right time. We'll find out.
That's right.
But we're planning on planting this whole patch right here. I have no clue how many seeds that's going to take. I'm not going to put this other bag in there just yet. No fertilizer or anything like that's going with it. Like I said, I don't know much about growing sorghum, so everybody that I know that plants it never fertilizes it, and even Justin said that I shouldn't need to. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we might make some molasses this year, but I highly doubt we'll be set up for that. If nothing else, I want to grow this crop just to see how it grows.
And get some seeds.
Which, I mean, we have plenty of seeds here, but that way we'll have seeds that are starting to get acclimated to where we're going to be growing it at. You know, just like when you save seeds from anything else. So let's see how this goes. We may have it planted way too thick. I honestly don't know. I have no clue, but I do know that this is the smallest plate I have for this planter. So we're just gonna roll with it and see how it goes. If we fail, we fail.
Just is what it
What
is.
as Billy says, fail while daring greatly. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, it's planted, but we had a problem. I checked the seeds about halfway through right here and I had plenty left. But when I got done, I was completely run out. So I've either run out on one of these two top rows right here, because I know there was enough seed left in there to plant those two rows. So I've either run out on these two rows here, or I got plumb to the end and just got lucky and I run out as soon as I got finished. But we won't know until
It starts coming up.
they start coming up. And I believe we've got a little bitty section left right here. I think I'm gonna bed a row up and plant some sweet potatoes on it. We've got plenty of slips finally coming on, and the neighbor wants some of them, and other than that, we'll have to find something to do with them. So we're probably gonna do that. But you wanna walk over here and show them the trees while we're up here? So these are the ones we planted across the property line here, and they seem to be doing fairly well. I hadn't really put on new growth yet, but that's to be expected the first year. Then right down here, we've got the ones that we dug up from our house, and we've had a few of them that died, and I kind of expected that too. So we've got this one. I believe it's gonna kick the bucket. This one's leaning really bad. I'm gonna straighten that out. But got this one here. It's done. And then down through there we got two more that are done. Which, once again, like I said, that was to be expected. We've got the trees at home to replace them with. But right now it's just not the time to plant trees, so we're probably gonna wait till this fall and replant those three. And then right down here, the apple trees, we'll go down here and check those out. There's some poison oak.
Yep. Poison oak's not a bad plant. We just happen to be allergic to it, so.
Pan back around here to the field real quick. There's one thing I want to mention about this field that sort of worries me, is you can see it's on a slope. And the way I've got my rows run is not how you're supposed to run rows. I've got them run with the slope instead of against the slope. But it's just because of the shape of the field. It's way easier to run rows this way instead of trying to run them against the slope. So what I'm thinking I can do to sort of slow down on some erosion or whatever is after this stuff comes up and gets fairly tall, I've done this with corn before. I don't know that sorghum will benefit from it or whatever, but I'll go back in between and sow buckwheat to kind of make like a ground cover that'll hold everything in together. That'll come up fast, but I'm not going to do it till the sorghum gets so tall because I'm afraid it'll outgrow the sorghum. I did notice, which I believe they've done come back out now, but anything that was sticking outside of that cage, the deer had nibbled on. So definitely this winter, we're going to be putting some bone sauce on there. Some of Billy's bone sauce. They do have the apple cedar rust on them already, which is not a good thing, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that because there's cedar trees everywhere around here. But hopefully it doesn't really start to hurt them. So I think these are persimmons. That's what they look like. And then there's several black locusts coming up out in amongst everything. But guys, look at this around every single tree ring. Look at how dark the grass is around it. Can y'all see that? Does it show up? Look at how dark that grass is around that tree ring. And I'm guessing that that's just from like the composted wood chips that we put around it. It's helped the ground around it that much. Because look, in contrast, just a foot away from that tree ring, it's yellow and thin. So that's pretty amazing. Right here's some deer damage. Where that limb sticking out, they've kept the leaves nibbled off of it. So as long as we can keep them here till this fall, when the leaves fall off of them, we'll definitely be putting some bone sauce on them. Well, I can't wait to pick an apple off of this tree. But anyways, yep, that's the trees. They're all looking good, and the two right down there are looking good. And the pecan trees at the bottom of the hill have come back out pretty good from the frost damage they had earlier this season.
All right, so I had a few folks ask me about how to do the Florida weave, how I'm stringing up my tomatoes, so I'm going to show y'all real quick. I may not do it exactly right. I may do it the hard way because I see people have these contraptions they go through and they can fly through and do it. I can't do it that fast, but anyways, I'm going to show you how I do it. We did this last year and it worked out real good for us. And just so you know, I hate tomato cages. That's why we decided to do something different. I'm not a fan. So we've got a T-post about every second to third plant in between, and that's what I'll be tying to as we go out through here. So to get started, I just go up a little above. These are the last two that I did. You want to start when they're kind of little. That way they have more stability. And you just kind of, well, I do anyway, just kind of watch them. And when they get too tall, I'll say, well, I got to go string up my tomatoes again. So, all right. So I just kind of come through and kind of scoop them up a little bit like this. And I'm at my next post. And this is where it gets a little tricky, especially when the tomatoes get big. You may break a few limbs. If you do, you do. So you're going to bring it on. You're going to wrap it this way. That's going to kind of give it some tension to hold that up. You're going to wrap it around like that, good and tight. Alright, so I'm going to show you all that again. We're going to come through. I kind of come through down like this, scoop them up a little bit. When you get to this pole, you're going to go. I pull it as tight as I can pull it. Wrap it around a good time to kind of hold it in place. And just repeat the process till you get to the other end. Alright, now when I get down here, I'm at the end of this one. So come down here so they can see what I do. So I'm going to do back on the inside of that post again, just like we did a while ago. I'm going to wrap it a couple times. And what you're kind of doing, what I kind of keep in mind is we're putting these plants in like a diamond shape going down through here. So see, now I'm starting over here. I'm going to cross over and I'm going to come through and I'm going to do the exact same thing I did coming up this row. All right, right here at the end, when I get to the very end, I wind that out a little bit. Got my handy dandy kitty scissors here. I just pull that as tight as I can pull it. Wrap it around a few times, and then I tie it off. I tie that a few times here. And that there's how you do. Anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all coming along, spending some time with us, being a part of the family. I love to hear from each and every one of you. I hope this video helped you a little bit, hopefully learned a little something, or at least made your day a little brighter. And anyways, till we see you on the next one.